Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to install a ShimanoTiagra 4700 rear derailleur. So one of those. So let's go ahead, let's get on with the steps. Right, so here we have the derailleur 4700. Now I'll just go ahead and run through a couple of things on it while I've got it in my hand so I can show you it easier. You've got your pinch bolt there, that's a 4mm hex head for that. You've got your mounting bolt to mount it to your frame, derailleur hanger, it's a 5mm there. Then you've got adjustment screws, the low is at the bottom, high is at the top. Then the B adjustment screw is there. And there just a small screwdriver, either a star or a small flat screwdriver. Then you've got the barrel adjuster there for your cable. So let's go ahead, let's get it on the bike. Right, so we need to install it using the 5mm there. Now what you want to make sure is, as you can see, you've got the derailleur hanger there. So the B screw coming through there, you want it so the screw, the end of the screw, is making contact with your derailleur hanger at all times. So when you're screwing it in, make sure you just keep an eye on it to make sure that it is making contact, and just put a bit of anti-seize on the threads, a bit of grease, just stop it getting stuck on there at a later date. So then just start the threads off, don't cross thread it, and obviously you can look down here at the back to make sure that the B screw is going to be touching the hanger. So when you tighten it up, when you started it a few threads, then just make sure that it's touching, so you can just push down on it so you know it's making contact when you're doing it up. So it's clockwise to do it up. So that's actually made contact there, so just nip that up. And then what you want to do is you can torque it up, so 7Nm is fine on that. So that's the derailleur actually fitted on there. So I'll go ahead, we'll get on with the next step. Right, so the next step, what we want to do is we got it mounted on there and torqued up. Then as you can see, we're looking at the back here, so I'll try and show you as best I can. Now if you look at the moment, the second sprocket in there, the guide wheel, the top one, the lower one's in my hand, I'm just pushing it down, is in line with the second sprocket in, so the guide wheel's in line with there, so that's no good. You want the guide wheel there in line, or just in line with the outer edge of the teeth on the smallest at the back, so you're 11 say at the back. So what you want to do to get that to come over is your high screw, which is your top one there. So if I'm just holding the cage down like that, so if I turn it anti-clockwise, you'll see that by doing that it's moving over towards the 11 at the back, you can see. So just by holding it down, once it's in line with the outer edge of the teeth with the guide wheel, once you're happy with that, then you can go ahead and adjust the low screw. So I'll just move the camera so you can see it better, so I'll go ahead and do that. Right, so now we're going to do the low screw. So what you want to do is just pull down on your derailleur there on the cage, and if you push it across with your finger, you push it over, as you can see there, the guide wheel, so that's the top one here, is in line with the second, well not even quite in line with it, just out of line with the second sprocket in. So it's in line with this one. That's no good, we need it in line with the largest on the cassette. So whatever yours is, whatever you've got on the back, it's 25, 32, whatever you've got on there. So you push it across, you can see it's not in line. So you want to get your low screw there, and if I do it anti-clockwise, it will move the derailleur over until it's underneath the largest on the back on the cassette. So you just keep tweaking it over and push it across and see it needs a bit more. So just anti-clockwise, and then get that so as it's underneath the largest at the back. As you can see there, that's underneath. So once you've done those 2 screws, then ready for the next step. Right, so the next step is we want to install the cable. Now before you do that, just make sure you check that your barrel adjusts in the right place. So screw it all the way in, so clockwise until it hits the bottom, and then just back it out 3 or 4 clicks, so anti-clockwise, just so it's just off the bottom. And also, before you install your cable, make sure that your shifter is shifted down to your smallest, like your 11 at the back. Otherwise, when you hook the cable up and you change gear, you'll only have half the gears because your shifter was in the wrong place to start with. So make sure it's shifted down. Then you just put your cable through your barrel adjuster and out the other side, like that. Make sure it's all the way in. Then slacken off your 4mm hex head for your cable. There's just a slot for the cable to go into, so put it underneath the washer with the pinch bolt, and it just fits in the slot there. Then what you want to do is pull on it as tight as you can. At the same time, snug up the pinch bolt down. And be careful when you're doing that, just not to move the derailleur over or anything like that. If you move it like that and snug the cable up, then it'll be in the wrong gear to start with. So just make sure that it is in the neutral position when you're doing the cable. I recommend having a brand new cable in there as well, full length cable when you're doing that. To pull on it tight, you can just wrap the cable around your hand a bit and pull on it. So that's the cable installed. So we're ready for the next step. Right, so we got the cable in. So now what I'm going to do is just run up through the gears just to make sure I've got the available gear. So we're starting on the smallest, obviously, and then we're running up to the largest at the back. So that's 9 gears we should have, because we're already in the first one, so it's 10 speed. So we should have 9 available clicks there on the shifter. So you may need, because the chain's not on there, you may need to just push down on the derailleur at the same time. And I'll just click up and then I'll go back down. So as you heard there, we got the 9 available and 9 on the way back down. So we've got 10 in total, it's 10 speed. So once you've done that, so you know you've got the gears, what you can do is, before we put the chain on there, I'll try and show you the best I can, but what we want to do is, if you're looking, what you're looking for is, as you change across with your shifter with no chain, you're just looking down at the top guide wheel, so the one down here, and as you shift over, just see if we're anywhere near. As you're watching it, you can look from the back as well. I'm just trying to show you it from here. As you shift across, you can see if it's in line with the next available sprocket. So as you're clicking over, you can see, just do it one at a time and have a look, looking directly down. You see if it's roughly in line, so you know if you're going to be anywhere near right. Just click across. Like you say, you might have to push down on the cage to do the last couple of cogs. And then when you've shifted right across, check that it's in line with the largest at the back as well. So when you've gone right over, make sure that it's directly underneath the largest cog at the back, in line with the guide wheel. And then we go ahead, shift back down to the bottom, like so. Now if you were shifting across the cassette and you started off okay, and as it was going over you just thought, well, one of them's slightly out of line, it doesn't look like it's dead in line, you can look from the rear as well just to eye it up. what you want to do is then get onto your barrel adjuster. If you've got one that's out of line, just go to your barrel adjuster and just click it out anti-clockwise, just a few clicks. And it's the same as if you get right over to the largest at the back, and the jockey wheel, the guide wheel, is just out of line with the largest. You can just give it a few clicks on your barrel adjuster just to bring it in line with the largest, so anti-clockwise on the barrel adjuster if you need to make any adjustments. So what I'll do is I'll get the chain on there and see if we was anywhere near. Right, so there's the chain on, so I'll just run it up. Just see, I'll click up through the gears, just make sure, see if we're anywhere near it. And we change up on the front as well, just to check. We run through them again on the largest at the front, your outer chain ring. Right, so now we're up on the largest at the back, whatever you've got fitted. What you're looking for then is, I'll just move the camera in so you can see it better, is make sure you've got enough gap between the top jockey wheel, there, the guide pulley, and the largest cog on the back. So you want about a 7mm gap there, so the chain is coming off nice and clean off the cassette onto that guide wheel. You can see, like so. And then what you want to do, if it's on that setting, you should be able to back pedal like that, and it shouldn't come off or anything. The chain shouldn't come off or anything like that. It should be running nice and smooth, even running backwards. So then all we do now is we just crimp on a end stop on the cable, and that's the install done. Right, so just put your end on like that and just crimp it up. So you want to cut the cable, you don't want it too long, so we just crimp that up like that. Right, so there's the installation complete for you, so I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.